Californians have a reputation for being the most socially liberal in the US, and next week that'll be put to the test. They'll head to the polls to decide if their state makes history by becoming the first to legalise the recreational use of marijuana. A meeting of Latin American leaders has called for the voters to reject that proposal, but there are also high-profile supporters, with billionaire George Soros donating $1 million to the Yes cause. And there are many hoping that it might be the answer to the state's budget woes. North American correspondent Lisa Miller reports from California.
On a ridge of land high above the Pacific Ocean, it's harvest time.
See these great big leaves here? They're all mixed into the bud.
Volunteers tenderly pluck the marijuana leaves, hoping this crop will be their panacea. Since the early 90s, this non-profit cooperative has offered free medical marijuana in return for donations and help on the farm.
Buddy, what's in that bag there? Is there anything there?
But the pioneers of the medical marijuana movement, Mike and Valerie Corral, aren't convinced this next step is the right one for California.
We work with people, not with pot.
Last chance to register to vote today, folks. Last chance to register to vote.
Next week, Californians, like the rest of the US, will head to the polls. But on their ballot papers, they'll decide if the recreational use of marijuana should be legal.
Students know that the same garbage that the government has been feeding them forever is propaganda, and it doesn't work. They've been telling us that marijuana is more dangerous than alcohol, that it's more dangerous than even heroin. And obviously that's a lie. So,
hey, you guys registered to vote yet? Today's the deadline.
If the measure, known as Proposition 19, succeeds, anyone over 21 will be able to possess up to 28 grams of marijuana and cultivate plants in a 2.5 square metre patch of land.
I'm trying to keep this as transparent as possible and hope you guys get all the information out there. Would you like a flyer?
Cannabis is safer than alcohol, and it's totally hypocritical, unjust.
The proposition was the brainchild of Richard Lee. Lateline caught up with the marijuana baron last year at his cannabis college in Oakland. He's helping fund these headquarters.
Hi, this is Cecile, and I'm a volunteer with Yes on 19, the effort to straighten out California's priorities and help ease our budget crisis.
But he's keeping a low profile, letting others do the talking.
I'm totally for Proposition 19. I think it is the greatest friggin' thing that has come down the pike since 1937, and if you vote against it, I think you're doing a huge disservice to yourself.
It could be 38 more years until the next one happens. This is our time. This is our moment.
The passion on the other side is just as fierce.
Shame on you for campaigning off the back of blacks with propaganda and fear-mongering.
Bishop Ron Allen blames marijuana for his descent into a hellish drug addiction.
7 years of crack cocaine in my life. Today, I am recovered 11 years. And so this is really personal to me because I know the devastation that drugs will do to a family.
He has no time for those who say it has medicinal benefits.
Are you kidding me? What do I think about it? If there's some medicine in it, let the scientists tell us, not the potheads and stoners. That's amazing. Since when do drug addicts make policy?
But it's the rising acceptance of medical marijuana that's even making this next step possible. Business is booming at dispensaries like this. An estimated 350,000 Californians use it for their ailments, and hundreds of millions of dollars are being made.
This is one of the dangers. Municipalities can set their own guidelines.
If Prop 19 succeeds, Valerie Corral's cooperative is worried the industry will become so big the medical marijuana users will no longer be the priority. And that's why cancer sufferers like Gloria Barnes are voting no.
I really don't mind if people use it recreationally. I just don't want the particular proposition as it's written to pass because it could impinge on the medical marijuana community.
Valerie Corral told them she's voting for it, but with a heavy heart.
Many people who are seriously ill, who are also financially compromised, as is not uncommon in America, may not even get into the doors to access medicine simply because they don't have money.
The debate has created unusual alliances.
Let's be honest, the war against marijuana has failed.
Joseph McNamara was the chief of police in San Jose and is one of several former police officers to push for legalisation.
Just like alcohol, it will generate billions of dollars for local communities.
20, 40.
But perhaps one of the most compelling arguments, as far as cash-poor Californians are concerned, is that by regulating cannabis, you also get to tax it. And that could be a solution for the state's $20 billion black hole.
Specifically for students, we are getting the first-hand blow with our classes being cut, teachers are being fired. We are struggling as a university and as a state.
There's still a big question mark over whether the legalisation of marijuana would even bring in the kind of money that was first thought. The initial estimate said it could be worth up to $1.4 billion to the state's economy, but the truth is, no one really knows.
If you wanted to legalize marijuana, if you really want to legalize marijuana in the state of California, this poorly written initiative, this poorly crafted initiative would not be the one.
Support for the proposition in the opinion polls has fallen. Even if it does succeed, the federal Attorney General has warned he will challenge it, leaving little hope for those who wanted to make California a model the rest of the country could follow. Lisa Miller, Lateline.